It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Oh, man, this nothing gets us fired up. Davidson, is there a real possibility of future returns being lower than historical averages? Most financial institutions are arguing that will be the case, and I wanted your take. So it sounds like David's been reading some stuff saying, hey, we got lower returns coming.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and get yourself ready. What would you say to that? Is there any experience you can share related to that? And is there any advice and guidance that you would give David?
Yeah, the Borg is probably, he's read a research report from the Borg that says that they're going to get 2.5%.
Are we going to call them the Borg from now on? Is that what we're going to
I'm not
refer
going to do that. But it bothers me because they issued the same report. I think they just changed the dates on it, and they say, hey, our expectations for the next 5 years is we're going to make 2.5% each year. And it makes all these headlines, and everybody all freaks out. And I'm like, they no more know what the market's going to do than the next person that you pull off the street. But here's what it does. First of all, it gets them tons of media exposure. The other thing is it lowers expectations. Because let me tell you, the easiest thing you can do from a career standpoint is if you tell everybody you're only going to make them 2.5%, and then you somehow get them 6 to 9%.
They're happy as a clam.
Oh my gosh, he told me 2.5 and he got me 9. Yep. That's incredible. So instead of focusing on the tarot card reading aspect of just saying what the market is going to do over the next 5 years, let me tell you what you need to think about on your investment philosophy. First of all, diversification is, I want to know that I want to get the majority of the upside. I want to get 60 to 70% of the upside, maybe even 75 to 80 if I'm older. But then I want to diversify so I don't lose it all when the market goes down. So I don't have to worry about, is the market going to make 2.5%, 9%? Is it going to go down 20%? I've got the asset allocation right. And then I need to know, why do I think it's okay to invest? Because you better figure out, because we know all of our research on millionaires and successful people, they're optimists. They think things are going to get better. They think that still better days are here to come. And I kind of fall into that camp in the fact that I think humans want to innovate. And all you have to think about is all the incredible things that have happened in our life, just my life. I don't feel that old. But guys, realize there's parts of my life I could leave as a kid. My parents had no way to get a hold of me. And I would, you would hope that I'd come home by dark, and now you can track your kids, you can track your pets, you can track anything. Technology has changed. We now have things in our pocket. Our phones have more horsepower in them, meaning computing power, than what put people on the moon. I mean, that is an incredible thing. And if you think this is slowing down, I got news for you. I'm telling you, innovation is actually accelerating, whether you're watching how things are changing faster and faster and faster. As long as we don't create the Terminator 2 scenario, or Terminator 1, I guess, before we got to Terminator 2 was more in what I consider impactful movies. As long as we don't create bots, artificial intelligence that takes us out, this thing will continue to improve. And you can invest in that by just buying the market as a whole. You don't have to get cute with it. If you buy like the S&P 500 or a total market index, you're going to get all that beautiful innovation right there at the tips of the investment, just about taking action and doing it. And that's the thing. I don't get caught up in the 2.5 to 3% because it's all a bunch of hooey in a lot of ways.
Nobody knows what the market is going to. I mean, you can go back and pull the articles. You referenced this back from following the Great Recession. Even after if you remember 2013, S&P 500 made like 32.5%, and people were saying at the end of that year, market is poised for lower returns over the next 5 years. Poised for lower returns over the next decade. They don't know. And obviously they were wrong about that. Either way, it's not something you can control. Unfortunately, we do not get to control what the market does. We do not get to control what the average rate of return is. What we can do is focus on the things that we can control, like our savings rate, our risk exposure, our diversification, what we pay in taxes, what we pay in fees. If you can focus on those 5 things, you're going to set yourself up for success. Whether the market annualizes 4% per year, whether it annualizes 40% per year, you're going to be well positioned for that, and nobody else. And I would remind you, when we look at historical averages on the market, it's historical over not 10, not 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. There's a long time period And reversion to the mean is kind of a real thing. So I wouldn't get, even if we see a period where it's below average, that means that it's probably followed by a period where it's above average. That's how you arrive at the average.
That's the point. That all is. Look, the years you're gonna have, some years you make 20%, you're gonna have years you lose 4%, but you're gonna look at your portfolio 20 years, 30 years in the future, you're like, oh,
worked out.
I annualized exactly around in that range that those guys talked about. So that's why this is, don't get caught up in those commentators, because they're controlling expectations. They're also creating great marketing pieces off of it. They don't know any more than anybody else does.